This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by the surgeon, Ben Whittaker, here in Manchester. Ben, how is life treating you?
Yeah, good, can't complain. Doing what I'm supposed to do, train, live, breathe the sport, and fight again Saturday.
Just got upstaged there by that main event press conference.
Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind. To be fair, they needed subtitles, man. I don't know what they were saying, but it's good for the sport. There's a bit of needle there, and hopefully they put on a show Saturday.
And you're from Wolverhampton, you can't be talking about subtitles here.
I try and put my nice posh voice on when I'm in public, but it comes through sometimes.
Ben Belujsky, the next stepping stone in your career. Walk me through what you're expecting.
Yeah, he's been around. He's fought a couple of people like the Jack Cullens and Carroll, Itauma or whatever. But it is what it is. Obviously, it depends what type of Vladimir comes in. If he comes a bit game, it will open more gaps for me. If not, if he tries to survive, I can go hunting. So it's whatever he brings, but ideally, get him out there, look good, and move on to the next.
You mentioned Carroll Itauma. It was only recently that he went to the distance with him, went 8 rounds. You two both obviously have great amateur pedigrees. Is it something which you've thought about trying to better what Carroll produced against him?
Yeah, a lot of people keep saying, oh, if you get him out early, he'll look good, but I'm in my own race, I'm in my own league, I'm on my own lane. I've just got to do what I've got to do. I know I can get this kid out really early, but I don't want to look silly doing it. I want to do it like a proper professional. Break him down, hurt him when I need to hurt him, and then slowly get him out there. We
haven't quite seen that I don't want to say journeyman opposition, but somebody who's maybe come just to tuck up and take the punches. You maybe haven't had opposition who have come in and looked like they were going to win, but not somebody who's more durable. Is that something which is on your mind, just to have that challenge of somebody who's going to come in, tuck up, and see how you can find those angles?
To be fair, Andy, no, man, I want to be home as soon as possible, but you do get those learning fights when you can't bang them out, but I already know this. You know, I've been to America. I'm sparring all these guys, either ex-world champions, soon to be world champions, and you can't just roll them over in a round. So I'm learning that already, so I'm not expecting that, but I'm going into this fight to try and hurt him, of course.
As is always with anybody who's got the amateur pedigree you do, Ben, a lot of people want to see the progression, want to see what's next, and they want to see a quick progression at that. Where do you see your career going beyond Saturday night?
Yeah, I think it's that British thing, you know, they want to move him so fast, but I've only just turned 26. I keep saying this, but Beterbiev, he's 38, do you know what I mean? So when he turned over, you have to move a bit quick. It's, for me, I think it's finding that balance. I can't drag my heels, but I can't go too fast. It's finding that middle balance, get the rounds under my band, get the tough fights early, and then when doors start opening up, titles start opening up, take it with both hands.
How difficult is it to do that though, Ben? Because again, people will look to want to see you move quickly, but you're also in that position where you want to build your profile within the boxing community. You've got that star power to cross over into all sorts of different platforms, but certainly in the boxing world, you want to try and build your profile more so.
Of course, it's great that I can cross over for both platforms, but for me, boxing's the bread and butter, of course. That's what's got me to this position, and that's why I'm so thankful for boxing. But I just got to do what I got to do, to be fair. Just take it each step. It's like a stepping stone, little baby steps. And whatever happens, I don't really turn down. So it's down to the team to bring what they bring.
We saw a Naz-inspired ring walk last time out. Is there anything else up your sleeve for Manchester?
No, between you and me, well, it'll be with everyone, but it's going to be nice and calm, I think. Do you know what I mean?
You run out of ideas?
You know what? I had some great ideas, but it's like, I'm going to be realistic. I don't want to call this lad a journeyman, but it's not like a title fight. It's not a world title fight, so I don't want to be coming out in cars or carpets or whatever you want to name it to fight that type of guy. I'm realistic. You look a bit silly. So for me, I'm going to keep it a bit calm this one. And then, of course, when you get in those big fights, I'll be bringing all the glitz and glam. But that one was good because he was Adidas, first Adidas shorts. He made sense, but I gotta be a bit realistic. Doing all that against a lad like that, it just makes me look silly, I think. But it'll still be special. I'll try and make it special.
I think that's refreshing to hear, though, because you did receive your critics after the last fight for that approach. Yeah. Your opponent wasn't necessarily going to ever cause you any problems. So have you taken any of that feedback on board, or is it just more so personal? Truthfully,
I ain't gonna lie. For my first couple of fights, I've always wanted to be a professional. So when I've watched like the Mayweather, I was like, I want to do it like that. But you have to be open your mind. Mayweather's doing that against the Canelos and for world titles. I want to do it, but I'm doing it against kids I should beat, which is not a bad thing. Fans still want to see it, but I'm realistic. So the Naz one was good, and the criticism was there, but I didn't really take it on board. For me, it was Adidas, leopard print shorts, big statement. It just made sense. But the next one, keep it nice and calm, and then we'll take it from there.
Ben, just to get your thoughts on a few other topics, Callum Simpson and Boris Crichton's an interesting fight. I'm sure it's one you might have an eye on. Maybe down the line you might cross paths with either of them. Just your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, good fight. A bit of a weird one because I know Boris was light heavyweight. So when I seen it, I said, oh, Callum's must have moved up. So I was a bit confused, but it's at super middleweight. Good fight, to be fair, good fight. I know what I like about Boris, his game. He takes fights on days' notice and things like that. So hopefully he's had time to prepare for this, and if he has, it could be a good fight.
He gave an incredibly durable and tough performance against Lyndon Arthur, which is one which certainly everybody seems to remember. Where do you think a potential fight like that is for you?
Yeah, it's one of them. I know he took him the distance and did well, and then he lost to Steve Woodall. So he's one of them, man. He's like, to me, he's a kneeling man. I don't want to sound bad, but he's a kneeling man. He'll take you the distance, mess you up a little bit, but don't get over the final hurdle. So you never know, a couple fights down the line, he'll be good because he's durable. He's been in there with them guys. And if I can get someone like him out, it makes me look good. But for now, we focus on Big Bad Vlad, as he calls himself, and move from there.
You did mention before you turned over that you wanted to try and challenge that British title within 5 fights. Listening to you now, has that become a bit more realistic, maybe settled down on those expectations?
To be fair, like I said, if it was down to me, I would have. You know what I mean? Sparring, but when I sparred Dan, I know what I can do. But it's a business. I'm early in my career. I had the little injury, so that hindered things. And he's looking to go into a big fight apparently against Buatsi, so it just don't look like it's there as of yet, unless they vacate it, you know what I mean? But it's one of them. I just got to stay in my own lane now, keep winning, and if down the line it happens, it'll be great.
Something I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned Buatsi and Dan Azeez, but I spoke to Eddie Hearn last week, and Eddie mentioned Dimitri Bivol. A tough ask for anybody, but what would you make of a Bivol and Azeez fight?
If I was... oh, here we go. He wants to show the physique.
The whole package right
oh,
here.
yeah.
This is how it should be worn.
We'll come back to that.
You're going to flash like that.
Look.
I hope you're shaving those chest hairs, Ben. Those baby hairs.
Yeah, look, they're baby hairs, man. You know what I mean? I'm looking like Tarzan out here. But yeah, show you. Making me go red, man. But yeah, back to that. If I was Dan Azeez, I'd take Bivol. Just for the simple fact it's a world title. It is. So good, like it looks good, though. Right, looks stylish. Look.
That's as far back as it goes. Sorry, Sugar. You want to take it away?
Come on, man. I got my man ready. Look at it.
He's ready. But
hey, man.
Skin nice and shining with the shine, with a smile.
Bling, bling. No, I mean, but yeah, I'd probably take Bivol if I was him. But it's a big British fight, so I think he's in a good position, to be fair.
What would Dan have to do to have success against Dimitri Bivol?
Man, you need fast feet. You need to beat him at his game. But at the end of the day, I can't really say that because we're completely two different styles. So for me, if I was a Dan, just try your best.
If it was you, you just make up something on the fly.
On the fly, but Dan,
figure that out.
But Dan, bless him, he's just got to try his best. That's all I can say. Try your best, man.
A lot of people after Joshua-Whyte's last performance in Birmingham said that they'd actually favour Dan Azeez in the fight now. Would you echo those calls?
I wouldn't. Just, you know, stars make fights. He was on a bit of a layout. First fight for boxer. There's a lot of things in the background. But if you look at pedigree, amateur pedigree, professional pedigree, he's done a lot more. So I'd favour to Buatsi.
I'm sorry to interrupt you for just 1 second, but I'm sure I'm scheduled to interview next with Andy, but whatever he's saying is what I'm saying. This shit sounding so good here. I mean, I'm sitting here like, man, don't ask me this. Please don't ask me the same questions because he's answering them already. He's checking every box and boxes that you don't even know. You don't have a secret code. Boxes that you don't have a secret code to. No cheat sheet. He's ticked them already.
We're ticking them off. Tick, tick, tick.
Tick, 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 tick.
Sugar, don't worry, don't shoot off. I've definitely got to interview you as well. But I'm sure there's a couple of questions here just before we wrap this up. Beterbiev-Smith. Your thoughts, please, Ben.
Great fight. To be fair, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I think Smith can do it. He's definitely got the frame, he's definitely got the power, definitely got the style. But it depends what mindset he goes in there with. if he just wants to try and get through, or he believes he can win. If he believes he can win, I think he can. But you can never write up Beterbiev, man. He's a beast. He'll always finds a way to win. Big, heavy hitter. But the best time to catch him is now. He's getting on. He's slowed down. The yard fight is slowed down as well. So I'm leaning a bit more towards Smith.
Ben, we've mentioned your career looking towards the future. I saw Eddie Hearn had a few words to say about you on the live stream, mentioning kind of how one day, you never know, paths might cross, and he said about you let somebody else spend the money when they build him up, and then he can go and take over and bring you to a different platform. What did you make of what Eddie had to say?
Eddie's a man of, a man of many words, man, many words. But great promoter. I'm never gonna say he's not. I definitely like him. I like his brand. I like what he's done. And I'm at boxing now. I'm happy now. My career's here, but the world works in mysterious ways, man.
Was it as close as what Eddie suggested, whereby a deal was pretty much there, signed, not signed, but pretty much agreed, and then within a matter of days you had this big offer coming from Boxer?
Is that what Eddie said? Yeah. Well, if Eddie said it, maybe it's right. You know, but no, it was very, very close. I was in a good position where I had offers from a lot of people, but you know, at the end of the day, we prize fighters. A bit more money came in, and I said, I've got to take it, man. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for my mum, my dad, my family, so it helped out them, but it was very close.
Taking back money. I don't get my cut for introducing you to Sugar.
Hey, you know what, man? Hey, he actually did got a shout out this man here because I was trying to figure out what coach. I like Sugar. Introduced me, and here we are.
Before I let you go, Anthony Joshua, Dillian-Whyte's been mentioned for a rematch. A good move for AJ next?
It's one of them ones. I think AJ just needs more activity, so a good fight like that, a bit of needle, especially after the first one. And sadly, I don't want to sound bad, but I think it'll be White's last payday, really, his last chance to try and prove himself. If not, he'll go into the distance and call it a day. So good fight. I think after the Jermaine Franklin fight, a lot of criticism. So he just needs to build on what he's building on with his coach, and then take it from there.
And just a final one to wrap this up on your campmate Lawrence Okolie. A lot of talk about what's going to happen next, and there's talks about he might not go and entertain the Chris Billam-Smith rematch. What do you think he does next? Does he entertain it? Does he try and get his belt back, or does he move up?
If I was in his shoes, I'd go straight into the rematch, I'm being honest, because I don't want to sound bad, but he doesn't sell a lot of tickets. A lot of people moan about his style and things like that. So for me, the only way I'm going to be on people's tongue is having a world title. And sadly, if he doesn't take that, where does he go then? Do you know what I mean? Move up to heavyweight where it can be a bit more explosive and things like that. But when you've got a world title, people want you. So for me, I'd echo that straight away. And he's got the tools to beat him. For me, when you watch the fight, when I was there live, and when they said 112, 112, I was like, what the hell is that? But when you watch it back, it kind of wasn't too bad, because it was like he was winning the rounds, and then he would just let Chris in with points taken away, and some of the knockdowns was silly, but there were still knockdowns, and that's what lost to him. So I think if he just neatens up things, he can definitely win.
Well, Ben, listen, it's a pleasure as always. I know you've got to shoot off now, other people to speak to, so thank you. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.